We were so honored to have been invited by our dear friend Chef AJ to attend Camp Wiser, put on by the Me1 Foundation. Camp Wiser is a camp for adults with cancer and their families to enjoy a 3-day weekend without thinking about the disease. It's fun. We had a blast. There are so many different activities to do. There's a Western night, and we want to share all of this with you. So come with us as we share what we did on our little trip with Chef AJ to Santa Cruz. Before any trip, we have to prepare. So, this first portion of the video, we're going to share how we prepare for big trips like this. First, we go to Costco. We got to get some dates. These are not the usual dates that we typically buy, but we needed a bunch, and this was all they had. So, we got ourselves a case. Of course, we're going to end up using all of them. We also got quite a few bags of the sweet onions. The onions and the dates are going to play a huge role in making our wraps, as they are the base of most of them. We have some older dates that we needed to use up before we cracked into our new stash. But here we have a bunch of sweet onions. We have the sweet potato, which is raw, used in the wraps, along with apples and some other ingredients. These ones will make the everything bagel wraps. And all of our wrap recipes, of course, you can find in our Hand Salads ebook. All our ebooks are 40% off with code RAWFOOD40. Head on down to the description box below and check out all of the ebooks that we have available for you. So once everything is chopped and weighed out, it's very, very, very important to make sure that you weigh all the ingredients, blend them well, and then add the psyllium and the chia only after you've blended. And once you've blended, you pour them into these trays and take some time meditating while you spread everything out thoroughly and very, very evenly. We like to sprinkle with some seeds. We make this mix. It's a salt-free everything bagel with black and white sesame seeds, dried onion flakes, and some poppy seeds. And there's Dove approving of everything. Then here, this is a new thing that we've been doing lately because it's really dry here in Las Vegas. So we put about a cup and a half of water in a blate or a shallow bowl in the dehydrator. This helps to keep everything a little bit more soft as it dries, so the corners don't get as dry. So if you live in a dry climate, that's a great option. This is the second day of making wraps. We were making wraps every single day for about 4 or 5 days before we even left. So every day we made 3 batches or 4 batches, depending on the day. And we wanted to have enough. So this is the second day of batches. We like to only use 2 trays in the dehydrator because everything dries a little bit better. We do have 3 dehydrators, but you can put more trays in at once, but everything's going to take longer to dry. So that's why we prefer to do just 2 in each dehydrator. 3 is okay. 4 is, it takes a little longer to dry. So here we go. The next day, here are the second batch of wraps that we did. Everything is so much more pliable when you have that bowl of water in the bottom of the dehydrator. Again, if you want to make these wraps, grab the Hand Salads ebook. There are 34 different flavors of wraps. Again, these are the everything bagel ones, and we make these most often, specifically because we always have ingredients on hand to make them, and we have this one memorized. So it's really easy to make this one on the fly. Here's the third day of making wraps, just chopping everything, weighing it all, and blending and spreading. Each batch takes roughly 15 minutes to make, so doing 3 batches is about 45 minutes worth of time, but 3 batches makes 6 wraps, and 6 wraps makes 12 meals. So it's well worth the time. Here's the 4th day of making wraps, and this time we made 4 batches, As you can see, we have 3 trays in each of these dehydrators, and we did make some of the caramelized onion wraps because Nate really enjoys those ones. Here are more ingredients for the following day. We made even more wraps. We really wanted to gift Chef AJ 12 wraps, plus we wanted to have enough for ourselves before our trip, during our trip, and after our trip. So these are the caramelized onion ones, and we put some dried chives and onion flakes on top of these ones for the decoration. You can leave it off if you want, or you can add other things. These dried chives are really nice to add to the top. Sometimes we also add hot chili flakes. It really depends on your tastes. So here we are, the morning of our big prep before we left. All of our wraps are ready, and we like to separate them with parchment paper and put them in these big 3.5 gallon Ziploc bags. But we don't seal the Ziploc bag because we don't want to trap any extra moisture in there that could potentially mold the wraps. So we leave them open. And this is basically kind of how I do it. So we've got our trays and we have our parchment, and we reuse these pieces of parchment over and over and over and over and over again. As long as they don't get dirty, we like to reuse them. So here's the bag. This is an example of what we're going to be doing. Everything is separated by a piece of parchment, and this is the best way that we have found to travel with the wraps. Usually we just leave them on these silicone trays until we're ready to use them, but for travel, we do like to peel them off the tray and again, separate with the parchment. It also is a great way of gifting them to others while not giving away your tray. So we put them on the parchment, put another parchment on top, peel the second wrap off of the silicone tray, and place that on top of the next piece of parchment. And we just keep doing that for each wrap. If you want to grab the silicone sheets, I have those listed in our Amazon storefront, as well as these plastic bags. And you can find the Amazon storefront by heading over to amazon.com/shop/rawfoodromance. Here are the deli papers, also in our Amazon store. We love these ones. They are very light and breathable. So when we roll our wraps, if we are rolling them and then saving them for the next day, they breathe really, really well and don't get super soggy. So we always like to make sure that we pack enough deli papers so that we can roll some of the wraps. And here is the bag that we have for Chef AJ. This is our gift for her. And here we have a bunch of different colors of deli papers, as well as all of the wraps. Here's ours down below. We've got so many wraps. We had a total of 34 wraps that we made for this trip. Also for prep, and again, this is the day before we left, we make sure to get as much of our food ready as we can before we leave for a big road trip, because then we don't have to think very much about food while we are traveling and having fun. This here is a sprouted chickpea and freshly shelled English pea salad. So we have the sprouted chickpeas that we have sprouted and froze. We like to freeze the sprouted chickpeas because when you thaw them, it's a much more enjoyable texture. And we did that also with the fresh peas. We froze them and thawed them and used them for this chickpea salad. Then I made a quadruple batch of the katsu sauce. This is one of our absolute favorite sauces as of late. This sauce recipe you could find in our sushi ebook. And you can also alter it a little bit and make it into a barbecue flavor. So here we have some nacho cheese sauce. We have some cashew sour cream, the katsu sauce, and we also have the buffalo sauce. We always make a really big amount of that when we're going to go traveling. This is the spices for our fiesta rice that we want to make. And then underneath that is the chickpea salad. So here we are the night before, just packing and getting everything ready. We have these boxes that we got from Costco that fit the wraps perfectly. So we save that box always for that. Here is one of the racks from inside of our Iceco cooler. We have some fenugreek sprouts, some grapes, and a few other things that we need to pack. We have our soda stream for our carbonated water and a bunch of other things. We do want to take the blender with us if we can. Then I like to wash grapes the night before, so we have a snack for our driving, because we're going to be driving quite a bit, so we need some snacks and we'll need some wraps tomorrow, but we're going to do the wraps on the road. The morning of our trip, we pack our bags, and of course the kitties are like, "Where are you going? Can I go too?" They're pretty okay if we leave them for up to about 5 nights, 6 possibly, which will be this trip. Otherwise, we have someone who comes in and checks on them. We also cannot forget to make our smoothies. So we have our breakfast. I love these wooden lids for the mason jars with the hole in the top. They are perfect for our silicone straws, which makes it so much easier to drink a smoothie when you're driving. So if there's any bumps, it's a lot easier to drink this way. And the link for the lids, again, in our Amazon store. If you're looking for any of the tools that we love, head on over there. Again, link in the description box below for all the goodies. So here we are, filling up at our first stop. And we like to get out and walk around and dance sometimes and stretch multiple times on our long journeys, because it can be hard on the body to sit for long periods of time. So getting out and stretching is extremely important. Here we are. It's time for lunch. Yes, opening our wonderful truck that is loaded with all the things that we need. This is our Iceco cooler. We absolutely love this cooler. It's a 75-liter cooler, and we have it plugged into our solar-powered generator that Nate built, and we have solar panels on the top of our roof, so that is what keeps our cooler going. Again, Amazon store. If you're looking for a cooler like this, we've got the link in our Amazon storefront. So we go in there and we pull out anything that we need to make our lunch. We pulled out the sauces and some of the fillings. We have our sprouts that we brought, and of course that chickpea salad. So here are the wraps we have in the back seat. We're just going to pull those over here and choose ours out of our bag, not Chef AJ's. This one's Chef AJ's. So we have to pull out from one of ours. And we make sure to grab some deli papers as well so that we can wrap our wraps and eat them on the tailgate. So here we go. We chose a caramelized onion one. Look at how beautiful and pliable that wrap is. And it smells amazing. Here's our chickpea salad. We already took a bite out of that one. We have our lettuce that we actually destemmed and put in a bag before we even left, so we didn't have to do that on the tailgate. And these knives we got at Bed Bath & Beyond. They do need to be sharpened. And we have our fresh heirloom tomatoes that we also brought with us. We usually don't add tomatoes or pickles or cucumbers unless we're eating right away. And because we're eating these ones right away, we're going to be using that and adding, of course, some avocado, because avocado is so delicious in these wraps. So here we have our portion set aside. And then we put a thin layer of the cashew cream cheese. We do have recipes to make your own cashew cheese in the Hand Salads ebook, or you could get some from a company like Treeline that has some oil-free options. So here is the chickpea salad. This recipe here is in Make It Raw Volume 3 that I wrote with Chef AJ, and we just added the peas to that one. So we took half of the container for our wrap, and here's our avocados, our tomatoes, and of course we can't forget to add some sprouts. We brought plenty of those that we made at home. And here we go. Let's roll up this wrap. I always like to make it into an envelope. And once it's an envelope, you can kind of stuff a little bit of the edges if you want to or not, and then just roll it up. They're pretty firm as long as they're fully dried. They're pretty firm and strong. Of course, you want to still be gentle with them, but they're pretty good. And you can fit a lot in these wraps. Here we have the wrap. Yes, yes. That chickpea salad, some pickles, tomatoes. Ooh, so, so, so good. And Nate likes to squeeze it a little bit so he can take his bite. And here is the katsu sauce. And that's that barbecue style sauce from the sushi ebook. Yes, digging right in. Enjoying every single bite of these wraps. This is our favorite, by far our favorite travel food, because we can make them in advance at home. We can make them on the tailgate. As long as we have all the fillings and the sauces ready to go, it is so easy to make these anywhere when we stop for gas or we stop at a really pretty location to have lunch, and we just do it on the tailgate. It's so fun and easy, and we have all of these memories. Every time that we make these, we just solidify how much fun it is to choose this way of eating. And yes, we have come a long way since our early days together, where we were just making salads on the tailgate with our icebox cooler without power. And, we just evolve as we go, discovering things we might want to bring. We have our little bin that we have all our kitchen tools in, and of course, upgrading our cooler to whatever we need. And everyone is going to have what they need depending on their diet. We like to keep our little cutting board and knife in the back seat here. So just little things that we've kind of tweaked along the way to make our travel time a lot easier. So here we are. It got really windy in the desert, but we always have to stop and make sure that we get those stretches in. Now we decided to camp the night before Camp Weiser, so we are headed towards Big Sur. And we wanted to only be a couple hours away from Santa Cruz, so we weren't making the entire drive from Vegas the day of the event. We wanted to wake up fresh and just go to camp earlier in the day instead of being exhausted. So we stopped along the way, and it was perfect because we wanted to get some avocados for dinner the next night. We had something special planned for Chef AJ and the crew, snacking on the grapes on our drive. We are headed towards our first spot for the night in Big Sur. For our first night, we chose Big Sur Campground. They gave us these cute little mugs with our booking. They also gave us a free bundle of firewood. The campground is awesome. The spots are a little small, so it's pretty tight together, but it gives it a really cozy family vibe, and the facilities are awesome here. While Nate was setting up the tent, I got dinner ready. We had this head of iceberg lettuce, so we decided to make these little kind of like chickpea salad boats, like a burger, but not. So we cut the iceberg lettuce up so that we had these little kind of boats, and we had some tomatoes, red onion, some pickles, some of our chickpea salad again, and the katsu sauce. Adding some sprouts for the topping. Here is our little dinner with our campfire. This is a wonderful dinner to have after a long drive and enjoying it by the campfire. The next day, we woke up and packed up as best we could because we wanted to do a little hike before we headed down to camp. Nate here having a little struggle going on. When we rewatched this clip, we were laughing so hard we had to include it into this video. Did you get it? Yeah, he got it. We drove down to visit McWay Falls. This is a waterfall that you can see from the side of the road. There is a pullout and you can walk over to get a really good view, which we'll show you in a bit. So we drove over to the little kind of park. And there is a fee to get in, which we paid happily. And we had to have some mangoes. Got to get the breakfast in before we go for our hike. So we have these big Keat mangoes. These are our favorite mangoes of all time. These ones were a little on the smaller side, but they were still massive and they're so delicious. These green mangoes that are usually only around in the months of September and October from California. They have very little strings and are so sweet. Definitely our favorite of all time for mangoes. Usually, depending on the size of the mangoes, we'll each have 2, sometimes 3, and try to get around 500 calories or so worth before we do things like going on a hike. We found this trail. The other trail to go to McWay Falls was sadly closed for repairs, but we found this one and had a wonderful time in the morning sunlight, hiking a little bit, getting a little exercise in, and spending some quality time together, seeing a beautiful little kind of a creek going on right here. It was wonderful. Very, very humid as well. So our hair was getting a little bit extra curly. This beautiful bridge that we got to walk across and just enjoy some nature before we head on down and have some fun at camp. And I'd even kick up some dust to give it a little bit of that fairy-like vibe going on. Hiking is definitely one of our favorite things to do, especially with the weighted vest and or weights in the backpack. This one, we didn't do that though. We just wanted to hang out together in nature and just have fun. Here is McWay Falls. Again, we couldn't walk down to the falls to see a little bit closer up, so we did park on the side of the road to just enjoy the beauty. Then it was time to head down to Santa Cruz. We wanted to get there a little bit earlier because we had some things to prep for dinner. And of course, we wanted to have some lunch too. So we drove down the coast, enjoying some spots along the way. When we got to Santa Cruz, we stopped off at a grocery store. Grocery stores are your best friend when you are traveling as a raw vegan or even a high raw vegan. This is where we're going to get our food. We got some corn and a few other things that we needed to prepare dinner in advance. We stopped off at the ocean. There's this kind of a boardwalk area, and it was the perfect spot for us to pull down our tailgate and get working on lunch and dinner prep. So here we have our sprouts, pulling out our lettuce that we already have destemmed, perhaps some avocado. So here we have our little setup. We always bring our table with us so we have a little extra space to put some things down. We got some garlic at the grocery store because we needed those little bags, and we'll show you what we're going to use those little bags for later. We brought our cherry tomatoes because we have to make some salsa and we have to assemble the fiesta rice for our taco dinner that we're going to share with Chef AJ and friends. So here's Nate chopping up the tomatoes for the salsa. And I have the table with our wrap ready to go. Here's our tomato. That's a big tomato for our wrap that we're going to have for lunch. We love rolling them fresh because, like I mentioned earlier, we like to have tomato and pickle in them. So we don't mind making them fresh on the tailgate on location because then we can enjoy that without the wrap sitting and getting soggy from the tomatoes. Look at that. We're having a repeat from yesterday because they're just so good. Why not, right? This is how Nate likes to do the deli paper lately. And lift it up on the bottom there so it traps any of the juiciness coming out of the wrap. And we had a great view here for our lunch. Again, we have the katsu sauce. When you find something that you really like, it's totally okay to have it a couple days in a row because it's just so good, right? If it gets you to eat more raw food and you enjoy it, I say go for it. After we thoroughly enjoyed our lunch, we got back to working on the dinner prep. This is our soaked, bloomed black forbidden rice that we started soaking 72 hours. That's why it's really important to make sure you plan in advance. Here is our little mesh bag that we got from the garlic that we bought at the store. We're going to use this mesh bag to strain the water off of our rice here. Again, it's been soaking for 72 hours, and we use the Lotus Foods Heirloom Black Forbidden Rice to bloom. Basically, blooming isn't really sprouting, but it makes it more hydrating and totally edible in its raw form. So here we are. We added more water to kind of rinse them one more time before we use them for our recipe. We're making the fiesta rice to go on our tostadas. It's an avocado-based recipe, and you can find this recipe either in our community or in Make It Raw Volume 3. Remember that seasoning that I showed you in the fridge? We added a little water, the avocado, and the spices, and here we also added some tomatoes and corn. Nate's working on the salsa, and we are making a mango salsa. We really love doing it this way. So he cut up the mango. There's tomato in there, jalapeno minced, some cilantro, red onion, and of course some lime juice as well. And here I am dumping all of the stuff in to make this fiesta rice. Got to scrape the bowl because you got to get all that flavoring and then mix it thoroughly together. This is going to be the hearty base of our tostadas. Then we needed to jar them up, so we used the same jars that we had the rice blooming in, and we had some extra jars as well that we'll put our salsa in. And here we go. We are all prepped and ready for dinner tonight. We're going to be sharing this with a bunch of other people, so we tried to make enough for everybody. Then, before we headed down to Camp Weiser, we took a little after-lunch stroll just to check out the surfers and the ocean. Then it was time to head to camp.
You made it sound. I don't know.
Arriving at Camp Weiser was something else. All the volunteers were so incredibly welcoming, and we had so much fun just getting to know the area once we arrived. These are for you.
Oh my God.
All of them are for you.
You're like the best, but should I share it all?
You can share if you want, but they're all for you.
Who's gonna roll them for me?
You can take them home.
I will give one to every party of my member. Member of my party.
Every party of my members.
After we were all checked in, we got our Me One t-shirts and found our rooms. We made a giant bowl of fresh guacamole for our tostada night. This is one of Chef AJ's favorite meals that we make for her. So we wanted to gift this to everybody who was here in our group. There were 7 of us. So here we are showing how to make the tostadas.
I'm not going to make mine
cheese
as
sauce.
skyscraper as hers because it was beautiful, but I was like, no, I'm not going to manage that in my mouth. It's going to end up on the ground.
So high, you can't open
I
wide
like
enough,
avocado
right?
first because it does kind of soften up the shell after like a few minutes.
Look at that. Come on over here, Charles.
You mean you're not supposed to put the cheese sauce?
You can put,
No,
you can make it however your heart desires.
Exactly.
It's gonna be cashew.
Oh yeah, you like spice. Look at Trisha's over here.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sprouts. And this is
Get the sprouts on there.
OMG.
I've never had
I mean,
raw.
Oh.
I've never had
Oh, I hope you enjoy it. Oh yeah.
oh my God.
I'm so excited,
God.
but I just don't have all my elements yet, I guess.
Oh my
That's
God.
spicy, right?
Oh my God, I don't even have
No,
granola.
thanks.
You want to? You don't like spice at all?
No.
Okay.
No, you probably, it's pretty spice.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I would stick with that. That's good.
What's that?
I would stick with what you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of green.
Yay!
This is the second best thing to the wrap I've ever eaten.
Oh man,
Okay.
so good.
Well, no, this is up there with the wrap. I mean,
You
oh my
load it
God,
up.
listen, can't you have a restaurant?
Can't you move to Sacramento? We need you.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
Yeah, corn, amazing.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
This
Oh.
is so many flavors exploding at
my
once, and they all go
Yeah.
together like music, like
Yeah.
a chord.
Aw.
I love
Corn
it.
tortillas.
Some say it's a mouthgasm.
It's about what?
A mouthgasm.
Absolutely.
Some
Oh
would
my
say that.
God,
I
this
can
is
see
so
that.
amazing.
Oh, we love you, AJ.
You guys, it's so good.
We love everybody.
Corn. My
Oh,
God.
that right? The
It's
corn?
organic sweet corn. Yeah.
Oh, she's got to get.
She has
Yeah,
a
you
gift.
think?
Oh, you guys.
Oh my God.
Look at Nate's loading it
Oh
up.
man. Yeah, and help yourself to as much as you want.
Yeah, you can have as many as
It'd
you
be great
want.
to like eat it all tonight. Really.
Eat it all, yes. After dinner, camp volunteers shuttled every family up to the ceremony area, where each family got to share a little bit of their story.
I was misdiagnosed with something called interstitial cystitis. I had very bad pain down here, and I knew I didn't have this disease. I actually just had a bad doctor. Really, all I had was a UTI. So I went in and had an abdominal CAT scan, and they found what they call incidental pulmonary nodules, tumors on my lung and liver. And the doctor said, don't worry. Well, if after 3 years of being a cancer patient, I've learned, when the doctor says don't worry, you need to worry. I didn't do any treatment for the first 2 years. We were doing watchful waiting because it was growing slowly. Then seemingly overnight, I jumped from stage 1 to stage 3. I don't know how I missed stage 2. It doesn't seem fair, but I did. So I did go into treatment, and now I am considered stable, if not slightly improved. I went into treatment kicking and screaming, believe it or not, but I'm going. Thank you. And one of the things I've learned from cancer is that you have to laugh. I mean, laughter is the best medicine, which is why I travel with my improvisational comedy teacher everywhere I go. Patrick is going to be teaching 2 classes here. And it's just wonderful just having all my friends and family here, and all of you. I hope to meet you. I didn't know what to write on my Torah, so I wrote just all the things I was grateful for, and actually all of you are on this, so I feel kind of bad burning it, but Here we go. Oops. And we are family. Come on, everybody, let's dance. Woo! Thank you very much.
After a good night's rest, it was time to wake up for the full day at camp. This was the Saturday, and we started the day off with a hike. There were a few things that you could do in the morning, like yoga or sleeping in if you wanted to, but we chose to go up the hike and enjoy some of the Santa Cruz Mountains. All of the volunteers, again, were absolutely amazing. And our hiking guide was wonderful because he shared a lot of cool things about the forest on our hike with us. I am so happy that I have been walking lately with the weighted vest because this hike, I was kind of questioning how challenging it would be because it was basically straight uphill pretty much the whole way. And I found it really easy after walking with that weighted vest and really training my body a little bit more. So here we are at the top, and this right here is the ocean. We had a group picture up at the top with everybody who was up there. It was really nice because we could connect and talk and learn other people's stories while we were up there. It was such a wonderful way to connect for the very, very first day. The way down was definitely a lot easier. And then it was time for breakfast. Now, they did have food for everybody, but of course, we eat very differently, so we had our own mangoes. We brought so many mangoes with us on this trip, so breakfast was mangoes. Here is our parking spot just outside of the big cabin, and this is the one that we were staying in. Here are all our mangoes, of course. Delicious and perfectly ripe, ready to go. And they did have a little bit of fruit, so I grabbed a little bowl of grapes at the little buffet that they have here. We had some activities planned for the day, so while we waited for our first activity, here are some of the tents that had some activities. We played some cornhole. Nate was doing some really good throws. I felt that it was a little bit far for me. I needed a little warming up to be able to get them all the way down. Then we tried out the Zentangle. Again, they had a bunch of tents outside on the lawn, and you could do all kinds of things. They had henna, they had face painting, and they had this Zentangle. If you don't know what Zentangle is, you can Google it. It's a really relaxing way of drawing, and they teach you how to do all of these different super cool patterns. This was the pattern that I chose for my Zentangle square. And here's Nate learning how to make this cool scroll-like pattern. I really loved that they had all of these tents with little simple activities that you could do in between of some of the bigger activities that you had to sign up for. So everybody had some options of what they could do, and these were great little fun things to do in between those bigger activities like archery, facials, massage, all that fun stuff. Our first big activity was getting facials done. Me One is run 100% by volunteers. So it was really cool to have so many people caring so deeply about just having these families to relax and enjoy their weekend. This was such a wonderful massage, a facial massage. I really, really enjoyed this one. Woo, that facial had us super relaxed and ready for our next activity, which was improv class. Now, a few months ago, Chef AJ invited us to start attending her weekly Chef AJ and Friends improv classes with her improv teacher, Patrick. He's taught us so much about improv, and it's been really fun to hang out with Chef AJ and her husband on the live. And it was even cooler to be able to meet Patrick in person because we do the improv classes on Zoom. So it was cool to meet him in person and share our tostadas with him and just spend the weekend laughing and having a blast together. Improv can feel a little intimidating at first, and I was definitely nervous on my first class, but after enjoying some of the games and playing around with everybody and laughing a ton, it became something that we look forward to every week with our dear, sweet friend, AJ. After that, it was a little bit of a break between activities, and we decided to do some tie-dyed t-shirts. Between all the activities, as I mentioned, they had all these tables with different things that you could do, so we wanted to make our tie-dyed shirts. This was Patrick's shirt. Here's Nate and I's, and we just kind of put whatever colors we wanted to have on there. Mine's kind of more of a rainbow style. Nate's was very blue. And here is Chef AJ getting really intricate with her tie-dyed dots. After that, we were just waiting around and kind of hanging out and just chatting while we waited for our massage. Yes, we got massages as well. After that, it was time for lunch. So we wanted to have wraps again because wraps are the easiest thing to make and they're so good, so why not, right? We had lettuce and we had some leftover fiesta rice that we put on top of that lettuce with some red cabbage, more avocado because we had so many avocados, tomato, and sprouts again with our cashew cream cheese as the base. Tuck in those corners and roll it up again. You can be firm with it. They are actually really strong and flexible. Here's our lunch, ready to go. We even got to have a little bit of vegan pesto that our friend Maureen made. Aw, look at you. What'd you get done
Vegan, baby.
Aw,
I wouldn't care at all if you took a picture.
I wouldn't care at all.
I just wouldn't care at all, yeah.
One of the things I loved the most was that each family got a family photo taken by one of the volunteer photographers at camp. Then it was time for improv class number 2. We couldn't miss out on this one either.
We'll call it a fail pass, all right? I mean, you can't fail. You cannot fail. If you do something that, didn't work or whatever, you've got a magical pass in your back pocket. It regenerates every time you use it, all right? So it's like licensed to make mistakes. This is not about perfection or getting it right. If you're thinking, oh, this is gonna be like, whose line is it anyway? It's not, all right? Don't worry, don't compare yourself to professionals, although you might even be better than the professionals. You never know, but it's not a competition and it's not a measurable kind of success rubric kind of thing that we're doing. Don't worry about being funny. That comes naturally, or it doesn't, and we don't care. Sometimes I've seen improvs that were so absolutely fantastic, and they weren't funny. They were really true and surprising. Or 2 or 3 people created a story together that you'll never forget. So I'm doubling, tripling down on just take the pressure off. All right, have I succeeded or have I made it worse?
Succeeded.
Okay, good.
After the day's activities were done, it was time for Western night with dinner. So we changed into our Western outfits. I had this cute little dress that you can find on Amazon. I will share the link in my Amazon store. And we have our hats, everybody dressed up. It was really, really fun to see everyone's outfits. And we brought all our food in our little bag as they shuttled us over to the area where we were going to have our little Western evening together. They did have some lettuce and some other vegetables at the salad bar. So that was great. We did what we could and we got whatever we could from the salad bar. And we, of course, had more avocados that we brought and our own dressing. We hung out with everybody, got to connect with some of the other families and guests. And it was just such a wonderful time together. Hello there.
Howdy, y'all.
What's your name?
I'm Sheriff Chef AJ.
Sheriff Chef AJ. Are you having fun here at camp?
I'm having a real good time at Camp Wiser, where all adults with cancer can come with their families and have a whole weekend where they don't even think about the C word.
Exactly. So what have we been doing for fun here?
Tie-dyeing, face painting,
Oh, look at that carrot.
archery, rock climbing,
Improv,
zip lining. What else we do?
laughter yoga.
Oh, after yoga. Improv was my
Improv
favorite
is
so
the
far.
best.
Oh,
Yeah.
hat painting, Zentangle, facial, getting our henna. Oh, that's right, free massages, free haircuts. I got one today. It's a little smush. You know, everybody that follows Liz on Instagram would give $1 to the Me One Foundation. You could send 300 people next year to camp for free so they can forget about cancer for a weekend.
Yeah. So please go down below.
Link below.
Link below. Donate.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
I think she is.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh. 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 Yay!
You still got it.
Oh, that's fun. Hi.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
Oh, you guys are awesome. How are you having fun?
I'm having a good time.
Good time. You're gonna do some square dancing?
I reckon we will.
You reckon?
I usually dance in a circle, but tonight I'm going to dance in a square.
Oh, stepping outside of your comfort zone.
That's right.
We've been fixing to do that.
Yes, that's right.
You've been
Sometime.
fixing. I love it.
Yep.
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 Yep. All right.
Well, night, y'all.
All right. Night.
Night.
All right. Look at all this. This is awesome. Yes.
You guys can move over a little bit. Move over this way just a little bit. It has a technical name. You'll all figure it out eventually. It's not too hard. I call it the middle. And then behind, on the left, new partner, do-si-do. On and go the other way back. Into the middle, go 1, 2, 3, and the other step to the left, big partner, do-si-do.
After a long, busy day, we were shuttled back to our cabins, called it an early night, and got some good rest. The next morning was a half day, the last day at camp. We woke up and went to yoga class and snacked on some of Chef AJ's granola that she so lovingly made for us. This is a raw granola. And we took some showers. My hair was totally frizzing out because it was so humid here. When we got out of our room, after we packed up the truck, we noticed that all the volunteers were washing every family's vehicle. This was a surprise, and it was so cool to see every vehicle get washed, and they even put a gas card in each vehicle for the drive home, which was so amazing. We are just unbelievably blessed to have been part of this incredible event. And again, if you want to donate, please donate to the Me One Foundation. So next year, some families with adults with cancer can come and hang out together and just forget about the disease and have fun with each other for the weekend. Here I'm getting a little bit of henna, and we had a big group family picture of every single person who was at camp. And then we had the final ceremony where we got to see some of the pictures of the day, and we also got to see a little bit of the video, which I'm going to share here, and you can also see on the Me One Foundation's YouTube channel.
Cancer, right? You hear that news and you're like, what?
It was very difficult to accept the diagnosis, but trying to live with it.
For 2 years in a row, I came here as a volunteer, and I was a warrior the first year, and then I was a host. It's really funny to see them come from the other side, because first I was the one taking care of people. I really appreciate the love coming to me. One of the things that we're hopeful for when this journey is done is just her boring, ordinary, healthy life. So we wish you all a boring, healthy life.
Camp Weiser is more than just a place where adult cancer patients can bring their families and disconnect from a disease and spend time with each other and other people who are walking a similar journey. It's more of a place of discovery and learning and feeling gratitude and hope. Inspiration, I think, is what we all leave with at the end of the weekend.
This camp is important because it allows people to forget about their cancer. It's really not just a cliche. It's not what we just say for real. It's important because it gets family together, allows them to have a good time together in the out and open doors amongst the beautiful trees and amongst people who love and look like them.
The best part of it is seeing what a good time they have for this weekend and how they're able to just release all of the anxiety and fear and grief that they live with the cancer journey, and forget about that and have so much fun while they're here.
It's just a wonderful feeling of seeing people blossom, not just campers, but volunteers too. So it's a place, I could do this every weekend.
I really feel that when they go back to their lives on Monday and they continue on, that they will remember this experience, and they will also be able to take with them the experiences of all the other families that are here and know that they're not alone. We're all in this together.
We just want to continue to bless others, and we want to continue to share this experience not only with the cancer patients coming through, but also with the volunteers that are coming in for these 3 days as well and dedicating their time. We want to continue out that legacy.
Just seeing the exhale of the whole family. Everybody's a little nervous on arrival, and then by Ice Cream Social, it's all good.
It's kind of a freeing feeling to be like, you know, just leave it, leave everything. We got you. And definitely felt that from the first second.
The entire staff was out there with pom-poms and, you know, things that you spin around your head and stuff, welcoming the campers and their families here. That was really fun, really inspiring, really fun to watch their reactions to it. Except one baby was in the backseat of a car looking at, was just very concerned for us. Like, y'all are nuts, you know that, right?
If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Thanks everybody for camp.
Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. Oh, let's go. Let's go.
And then we'll have the rest of the pictures of Crazy. All that'll be on the
my
link in this
God.
website. Okay. Yeah, so.
Thank God I wasn't dog-faced yesterday.
To know you guys and to be in touch.
So
Yeah. Checking
Look
out
at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
such
a
you guys, you all behaved
picture.
yourself and everything in this picture. That is like a perfect picture of all of you.
After a very emotional final ceremony, Camp Weiser invited all of the guests to grab stuff from the sandwich bar for their trips back. So I grabbed some lettuce for our wraps, and I got some extra for Chef AJ's.
So I feel that the best way for people to eat healthy on the road is to go everywhere with Lissa and have her make your food. But here we have, that's a perfect avocado.
It's a perfect one for a perfect lady.
I mean, that looks exactly what a picture of an avocado looks like. So here we have the everything bagel wrap.
Making the wraps, yum.
Yes, yes. Making the maps on the road at camp.
Wraps at camp.
Okay. So then we take the lettuce, which makes it kind of the bedrock.
Yes, and I got this plate here for you too, so we're gonna stuff it.
Do you have any dressing?
They're at the truck.
Okay.
After we roll this,
Yeah.
I'll head down there and.
I have some balsamic if you want to use that. I don't know what dressing.
For people that don't love eating salads, these
This
wraps
is
are
so
the
good.
best thing.
You want all this in there?
I didn't know that you took, so if that's too much, I'll just eat it, or maybe Charles will eat some of it.
Because that's gonna be a really nice wrap.
The wrap, the secret is in the rolling. Charles, hi, Charles.
Okay, we'll try that.
I'm so interested to see this roll.
Oh yeah.
This is what
And
she
then
did
we
in
have
Vegas.
Tomatoes,
Oh my God.
Because
make it harder.
Wraps are so good.
She's the master. She created these wraps that are low calorie density, vegan and raw and gluten free, because many people don't get to eat anything that's like bread in their life, and this is just the most delicious thing you've ever tasted.
Too.
Yeah, it's made with fruits and vegetables. It's basically just onions, dates.
It's better than any bread
Yeah.
anybody's
Sweet
ever
potato.
eaten.
It's not breaking apart.
I know. And lots of onion. Look at that.
OMG.
That's a wrap. Whoa.
Isn't that cool?
And it's like so
I
satiating.
feel like I'm at a magic show.
It is magic. This is not the best knife for it, but
Oh, I should have got the sharper knife. That's okay.
this works. And
Dun, 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 dun.
Da-da-da-da-da.
OMG. Look at that. Look what I get to eat.
So satisfying.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
that's your lunch.
You're
girl.
amazing. I
That's
love
your
you
lunch.
so
I love you so much. And there you
Even
go.
if I didn't have dressing, it would still be the most delicious thing on the world. In the world.
Aw, that's buffalo sauce.
So here I am trying the enormously talented #1 raw food chef Lissa Maris's buffalo sauce. I'm warned it might be a little spicy. It tastes like barbecue sauce.
Yeah, like a creamy
How do you
barbecue
get it so
buffalo.
smoky?
There's some smoked paprika in
Oh my
there.
god. Even though it's really spicy, I love it.
She just keeps eating it. That's
Can you
awesome.
eat that whole thing?
Yeah, she's eating the whole.
The other half.
She already ate the other half. The buffalo sauce is in the burger book. And now it's time to go home.
I don't want to go home.
Oh, they don't want to go home. How do you guys feel? Oh, Trish. Sad to go, but here we are. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, Me1. Yes. Aw. As we left, camp volunteers gave every person one of these little vials with some of the ashes from the fire that have been collecting since it started in 2007. So please head on down to the description box below and donate to the Me1 Foundation so other families with adults with cancer can come and enjoy this camp next year. After we left camp, we headed up towards San Francisco. We wanted to spend 2 nights over there in the Bay Area, and on the way, we stopped off at this super cool little farm stand with some deliciousness. We found some gorgeous, seriously gorgeous heirloom tomatoes. We found some Brussels sprouts and zucchini. They had some kale that we also purchased. They had these beautiful little watermelons and this mango, which we definitely had to get. It looked so good and so unique. We didn't end up eating it on this trip, but we did take it camping the next weekend. And then there was my absolute favorite vegetable of all time is the red onion. These were so gorgeous. So I went a little crazy stuffing these bags. We brought so many home, but they only took about 2 weeks to eat them because we eat a lot of red onion. Onion is very high in inulin, which is really good for the gut microbiome. And it's also rich in sulfur, which is really great for the skin. So again, onions are one of our favorite things to eat, and I just loaded up on so many of them. We also grabbed some more garlic because we always love to support these little farm stands if we can, and just grab whatever is available and whatever looks good, like these beautiful strawberries. We got some of these for the drive snacks. And because we have a cooler, it's so nice that we can put some of our food into the cooler whenever we do stop at one of these places. These strawberries were some of the best strawberries I've ever had. And we drove up and down the coast looking for a place to camp for the night. We found Costa Noa. This was an absolutely beautiful area. All of these eucalyptus trees that they had on the road heading up to the campground were incredible. And they have cabins and a hotel. They have RV area. We decided that we were going to stay there, but we wanted to drive up and down the coast again and just spend a little bit of time by the ocean. We watched some of the wind and kite surfers as well. It did get a little coastal on our drive as well. And after we spent some time hanging around, we got back to Costa Noa and rented this little glamping tent. These are really cute, and we decided this would be a really fun way to spend the night. We had room keys that opened the doors to our little tenting area here. It was just a bed. They had a heater, they had some nightstands and plugs and lights. It was a great little space to camp for the night. Now, because our truck is fully set up for off-grid camping, we don't usually stay in places like this, but along the coast, there were very little places that we could go where we could just pull over on the side on public lands and pop our tent and sleep there. So we chose to stay here, which we fully enjoyed. This is the bathroom area. They had saunas here and a little communal fireplace, the bathrooms and showers. We were really impressed with this little campground. It was definitely worth staying here, and we will probably stay here again. Like I said, the eucalyptus trees were gorgeous. And then it was time for dinner. And what are we having again? We're having wraps yet again, because why not? They're easy and delicious. And look at this. You can roll it up. They're really sturdy, really durable, but they're soft and delicious. So we have some fermented cucumbers, avocado, tomato. We've got the lettuce that we grabbed from Camp Weiser that we wanted to have for our wraps. And we have a little bit of leftover fiesta rice, so might as well use that up. Fenugreek sprouts. Here is our heirloom tomato and avocado. We got some sprouts and a little leftover iceberg lettuce that we had. And here, Nate, he really filled this one really, really full. Look, it doesn't even fully. It was so funny. We were laughing so hard at this. It was so great. But he did eventually get that rolled up. Again, you can fit a lot in these wraps. It's a really great way to have a fully satiating meal with lots of different things included inside your wrap. This is my favorite part, where we get to see the inside of the wrap. Perfectly delicious. You can make these too. Again, grab the Hand Salads ebook. Any of our ebooks, we have 28 ebooks right now. They are all 40% off if you use code RAWFOOD40 at checkout. The link is in the description box below, or head on over to payhip.com/rawfoodromance, and you can use code RAWFOOD40 at checkout to get that 40% off. This applies to all of our ebooks: the Hand Salads Wrap ebook, the burger book, the soup book, the taco book. All the books are all 40% off, so head on down there and check them out if you are interested. And of course, we had the katsu sauce. That's why I made a quadruple batch to have enough to carry us through. And here is that delicious buffalo sauce. Recipe for that one is in the burger book. We also have our online school community, Raw Food Romance. You can just go to school.com and sign up. This is where we teach our live raw food classes, where you can learn how to make the wraps, burgers, tacos, all the foods that we love, the gnocchi and some lasagna, the cashew cheese. We teach it in live classes, but you also get access to watch all of the previous classes that we've ever done in our community. So head on down to skool.com and search for Raw Food Romance, or check out the description box below and join our community. We would love to see you in there and teach you about raw foods. Here we are in our little glamping tent, kind of getting ready for bed. And as the sun set, we started a little fire here and we met some really cool people. Ended up talking until later at night before we headed into bed. The next morning was our full day that we got to enjoy. We were planning on going into San Francisco and just enjoying the city for a day before we were going to leave the next day. So we packed up and headed out towards San Francisco, which was approximately about 2 hours away from where we were staying. And it was a beautiful day, absolutely gorgeous. And we lucked out because, you know, on the coast, it can get kind of foggy, and it did. You'll see later. But we drove up to San Francisco, stopping a little bit along the way, driving a little slow sometimes, checking out the trees, and we even got to see some little turkeys on the side of the road as well. First stop was lunch. We had more mangoes for breakfast, and we're really excited to find this wonderful place called Judalicious. This place has raw and vegan food, and living in Vegas where there are no raw vegan restaurants, this is always so much fun to find some raw vegan places to eat in other places, because usually we just eat at home or on our tailgate. So we take advantage whenever we have a place around that has some raw vegan options. And of course, every time we go to one of these places, we end up ordering everything that we can that's raw on the menu because, again, we don't have this option where we are in Las Vegas, sadly. So when we do have a chance, we go all out. This here is the Judalicious salad, and it had a goji date dressing, which was absolutely amazing. It was so good, so delicious, and this was probably my favorite out of all of the things that we got. We also got the wrap. This is the wrap, one of the wraps. They had two different kinds. This was kind of like our wrap in a way. It was a flax, kind of a burrito, and it was a soft taco kind of thing. So that came with a Judalicious salad. So that made me happy because I got extra salad on top of the wrap as well. And we had the other one too that was the collared tacos. As you can see, it was so soft. There was like a really soft kind of a paste filling, a nut-based paste filling. They had lots of vegetables. Here are the other tacos that we had, and they had like a curry cashew cream sauce on top. Lots of avocados and lots of flavor. So glad that we found this little epic spot. If you are ever in San Francisco, Judalicious comes highly, highly recommended. There was another restaurant that we wanted to try. It was called Peña Pachamama, but they were closed the time that we were going to be in San Francisco. So sadly, we didn't get to try them, but Judalicious came through and we thoroughly enjoyed. After lunch, we took a little walk because we know how important that is for digestion after eating, and we stumbled upon this wonderful, glorious place. It's called Other Avenues. It's a grocery co-op, and when we saw this, we got really excited because we love to look for local little places like this to stock up on stuff that we can take home. Look at this, 50 years of fair trade, local, and regenerative co-op provisions for people. It was a really cool little health food grocery store, and we found some gems. Check this out. This is fermented garlic, unpasteurized fermented garlic. We found this pickle relish as well. We were so happy to find so many unpasteurized things. We got this spicy garlic sauerkraut as well. We couldn't help it. We had to grab as many things as we could fit in our cooler. We also found this shared cultures. These are handmade here in San Francisco. We got some different misos from them. Again, we love to collect these really unique raw foods when we can, when we find them. We went around the store. It was small but loaded with so many delicious things. Look at these heirloom tomatoes. Heirloom tomatoes are gold. And look, we had some mushrooms. They had chanterelles and oyster, and look, lion's mane mushrooms. They had so many different kinds of plums and cherry tomatoes. And look at these dates. They were so moist and perfect. We got some plums, we got some tomatoes. They had endive and just all the really good things that we love. Here are all the root veggies. We already had a bunch at home that were waiting for us, so we didn't get any of those, but we really wanted to because they looked so good. Look at that turmeric. So we filled our cooler as best we could with the stuff that we got, and we drove around a little bit to get to our next place that we wanted to check out. It's so much fun to explore different cities, and it's been about 7 years since we have been to San Francisco together. When Nate and I first started dating back in 2018, we planned a month-long road trip, and San Francisco was one of the spots along the way. We had so much fun here, so it was really cool to come back and explore it a little bit more. We stopped at Trader Joe's, got some cold pressed raw pineapple juice and a few other things, some grapes and some other things for the drive. We also stopped and got some firewood because we had an epic camp spot booked right near the Golden Gate Bridge that we were staying at that night. Then we found our favorite spice store, Oaktown Spice Shop. I love spices. Many of you know that. We like to collect spices. And when I was living in Canada, they had a spice store called Silk Road Spices. And you can find them at silkroadspices.ca. But this store is very reminiscent of that store. Fenugreek leaves and dillweed. And they had lots of different single herbs and spices like hot chilies and blends and salts and all kinds of really cool stuff. They even had these really cool old vintage spice jars on top. So Oaktown Spice, if you're ever in San Francisco or Oakland area, definitely go check them out. Then we drove around a little bit more, just, checking out the city and chatting about all different kinds of things. We love road trips together because we're each other's best friends and we just enjoy being together no matter what we're doing. It doesn't really even matter. So we got into the city, looked at all the skyscrapers and had some fun just driving around, and we decided we wanted to go to the pier. They have like a kind of like a market in the pier area. So we drove up there and we kind of drove up and down looking for a place to park. And there really wasn't as many options as we thought there would be, but that's okay. So we found this guy who was doing an iPhone 17 YouTube video, which made us smile because we were filming for our YouTube video right here. And thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, Lissa's Raw Food Romance. And here is the pier kind of a building. It's the ferry building, I believe. And it was a really, really cool spot. We parked in one of the parking areas and walked over to the little market. This is the marketplace and the ferries in the ferry building. and they had really cool little shops here. This was all of the mushrooms, and these are the mushrooms that we actually get here in Vegas in our Farm Fresh to You box, which is really cool that we got to see that brand. And this was probably my favorite store because they had a lot of really unique gifts and stuff. So we got some presents here for family for Christmas. We always like to think in advance and collect things through the year. And then we have a lot of really cool stuff to give people at Christmas time. We sat outside and we just enjoyed looking at everything in the city. And then we drove around a little bit more at sunset. We wanted to see some of the architecture because that's one of the really cool things about San Francisco is that the houses are so incredibly unique. And it was really neat to see the hills again. Incredible how we build in such unique areas. So here's some more of the houses. And this was one of our favorite buildings. We actually drove around again to see it again because it was just so cool how old it is and how beautiful. Oh, it was really cool. Here we are in the city, and we drove to Chinatown as well. This was a really awesome, cool area. And the sunset was going to be epic. We were really excited because our camp spot was really, really close to the ocean. So we drove up to our camp spot. We wanted to make sure that we got there right as the sun was setting. So this is a Robb Hill Campground. And again, this is really close to the Golden Gate Bridge. And we walked down a little trail to watch sunset at the ocean. Here we are setting up our tent just as the sun had set and it got dark pretty fast. We like to pop our tent and then Nate puts out the awning, and this protects us from the heat as well as some rain if it's raining. We made a campfire, and then it was time for our easy dinner because it was getting kind of late and we didn't want to have a full salad. And we really needed to eat these mangoes. So it was another mango meal. Having these mangoes available and ready to go is one of our favorite things when we're camping. Mangoes, melons, apples, and oranges are the top fruits to take camping because they hold up the best. Melons, the best. Of course, mangoes and apples and oranges. And then we had this granola. Again, Chef AJ had gifted us this granola, so we snacked on a little bit of that while we watched the campfire and just had a cozy evening, just the two of us. The next morning, we were blessed with the coastal mist. It was really fun to wake up this morning. It was so damp and humid. And when I say fun, I mean a great reminder as to why we personally love living in the desert, because we do love the dryness of the desert. Being raw foodies, we do stay very, very hydrated, and we drink extra water. But being out here in the humidity was a really, really dramatic change from what we have acclimatized to. My hair was just wild and crazy. So was Nate's with all of that moisture in the air. But it was really beautiful and calming to wake up in this mist. Then we snacked on a few of the plums that we got at the Other Avenues grocery store. We packed up and headed down to the Painted Ladies. The mist had lifted inside San Francisco, and these houses were the final kind of like attraction that we wanted to see before we headed out. These houses were built in the late 1800s. They're called the Painted Ladies, and these houses are featured most famously on the introduction to the show Full House. So if you remember watching it and they were having a picnic on the hill, these houses are in the background. So it was really cool that we got to see these. Just take a little bit of a walk before we start our big giant drive back to Vegas, because we didn't stop along the way to split and sleep. So we were driving the whole way back. So it was really nice to take a little walk before we started our big long drive. So here, look at how gorgeous they are. Just so intricate, so beautiful. And I'm really into doll houses and miniatures and things. So I really, really enjoyed seeing this. And here's our truck just waiting for us to drive back to, can you guess where we went? Ooh, we had to do it again. Oh my gosh. And yes, we decided to go back to Jewdelicious for a meal before we headed on our road trip. So this was kind of like our breakfast, I guess. Salad for breakfast. I got the Jewdelicious salad again, along with the Danu wrap. Had to have this one again because, you know, when you're not in a city often, you gotta enjoy it while you can. So we got some salads. Nate got another salad to go that he was going to put in his wrap that we were going to make for lunch. So yeah, this was breakfast. Thoroughly enjoyed, no shame. Joy is the fuel for our collective strength. Loved all the art, and yeah, we drove around a little bit longer on our way out of the city. Here we are driving down the road. We chose to take a different route back to Las Vegas that had us stop over by Lake Tahoe. We love Lake Tahoe, and we do stop here often when we are traveling back from the coast of California. We usually stop here to have lunch because it's roughly about a halfway point between usually where we are and where we're going. So here's our tent. Because it was so misty and moist on the coast, we had to let it air dry a little bit, and it worked perfectly. Here's Nate's salad that he wanted to put in his wrap. We're each going to make our own wraps here because we're going to have one half for lunch and then the other half for dinner. So here is my wrap. Again, this will be half for lunch and half for dinner. And then Nate has his own wrap that he made with that salad he got from Jewdelicious. So that way we have lunch made, and then we can just stop maybe around dinner time to have our final half while we get gas or something on the way back to Vegas. But here's our lunch and dinner wraps, or this one's mine. And then Nate made his. And then we each ate half of our wraps together on the tailgate while we let the tent continue to dry. We still had leftover katsu sauce. That sauce lasts pretty well. And because we made a quadruple batch, we had plenty to carry us through. Here's Nate putting down the tent. The tent is so awesome. It's really easy to just pop the tent and set it up. So we really love this era of our lives where we are doing a lot more rooftop tent camping. Continuing our drive, waiting in traffic. As usual on long road trips, there's typically a spot where you do sit around and just chill and chat and have some fun. And here we are headed out of the mountains and diving into the desert, where we will continue our drive back to Las Vegas. Thank you so much for watching this video and enjoying this wonderful weekend that we had. I just wanted to send another super huge thank you to the Me1 Foundation for offering this opportunity for adults with cancer and their families to enjoy some time together. And a big thank you to Chef AJ for inviting us to camp. We feel so honored and special that you wanted to spend that time with us. We love you. We love you. And here we are, stopped off for the final tank of gas. We had about an hour or so left to drive. So we decided to fuel up with our wraps, our final wraps of our vacation here. We just enjoyed them in the parking lot after filling up. Fill up the truck and fill up our bodies. Thank you again for joining for this video. If you like videos like this, please click like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we will see you on the next video coming soon to my channel. I love you all so much. Don't forget to check out our ebooks, Link is in the description box below. 40% off code is rawfood40. I love you all, and fruit on.